Hi, I'm Jeff, and this is Lithic Metals. Welcome to the lab. My fellow GoldBug members, this one is for you. Anybody else that's joining us for this adventure, let me get you up to speed quick here. What I have here is 80 ounces. Yeah, I said that right. 80 ounces of pure gold. 40 ounces per batch. Right here. At today's spot price, that is approximately $75,000 right here in this dish. And another 75 right here. And that isn't even half of the material that we're going to be using for this project. What we're going to be doing here is creating the 2021 quarter ounce round GoldBug series. In 2020, we made a 140 piece collection of 1/10 ounce rounds. That was an amazing opportunity for me. And now here it is, 2021, and I've been awarded this new spectacular opportunity. It's incredible. We're going to be working with nearly 180 ounces of pure gold. 180 ounces of pure gold. I don't know how to describe what an honor it is to have hundreds of my fellow GoldBug members put this kind of faith and trust in me to get this job accomplished. This is a community rounds project. That means that members of the GoldBugs community all pitched in and paid for the pieces that they've ordered. They were limited to 5. Well, most people I think got 1, but it came out to well over 300 fellow GoldBug members pitching in to do this project. And in the end, it is going to be a spectacular collection. A limited series. Right now the number's at approximately 707. It may go down or up as the tally is totaled completely and all the pieces are paid for. I suspect if anything it would actually go down, but I don't think it will by much. I really want to emphasize how thankful I am to all my fellow GoldBug members and to the admins that helped put this together, and to Corey over at KZoo Bullion, which I'll make sure to add a link in the description of this video. You might have heard of KZoo Mint. I think they're rebranding a little bit. I think their new website, which is going to be up and running very soon, probably by the time you see this, that will be kzoobullion.com. And they are our suppliers and sole distributors of this collection. Corey over at KZoo spent a lot of time and effort and is continuing to do so to organize all the orders, collect all the funds. He is supplying all the gold. And when I'm done with the collection, we're going to drive it over to him in Michigan. I'm coming from Wisconsin. We're going to drive it over and we're going to hand deliver this collection to Corey. And from there, he's going to disperse these to all the GoldBug members. It's amazing. It's an amazing project. I am so very thankful to have my role in it. It's an opportunity to push myself farther than I was prepared to go. We really thought that it was going to be somewhere around maybe 300, maybe 400 pieces ordered in this collection. We had the admins put up some interest posts to kind of gauge the feel of what we're going to do, and that showed, I think, around 330. So we were thinking 350, 400. And it just kept going and going and going to the point that we ran out of gold. Corey had to dig deep. We were like disappointing members because we were like, oh man, we're running out of gold. We thought we were just going to take orders. we reserved a lot of gold, and we were gonna just keep taking orders until the week time limit was up. And it turns out we ran out of gold before our time limit was up. We had no idea that it was going to go so far past what we saw on the interest post. So Corey contacted other sources and literally snatched up another 40 ounces of gold for us so we could keep the sales post open until the time limit was up. And we just made it. It was absolutely spectacular. Hundreds of GoldBug members all pitching in to get this done. And it is going to be a great collection. I promise you that, because I'm going to put everything I have into this collection until it's done. And our first step is to get all this gold weighed up into separate batches. You know, I would have loved to start this project with all our gold, 180 ounces, all right here, so we could all look at it together and go, wow. But we're on a time crunch, and we got some of the gold early, so let's take advantage of it. Our first step is going to be to weigh up all this gold that we have available now, this 80 ounces, into quarter-ounce batches, and we'll see how long that takes. And then from there, we're going to take each batch, melt that down into the quarter-ounce rounds that we're going to be starting with, the quarter-ounce buttons. After that's done, the process is going to go from the button to the press, where we're going to stamp it with the GoldBug die. And then we're going to hand stamp the back with the Lithic stamps. And then we'll go and get it packaged up. And there's a lot of steps in the middle of that and after that. But it all starts with step one. So let's get set up. I'm going to get the scale calibrated, and we're going to start weighing these batches up. Let's do this. First 300 batches weighed up separated and ready to turn into buttons. Still have approximately 5 ounces of gold here left. This would be 300, that would be 75 ounces of gold approximately right here. Whew, not quite halfway though. Still a ways to go. I can still whip out about 20 more pieces here. Is that right? About 20 more pieces. But I think I'm going to set this aside right now. I don't want to ruin my symmetry. That, and I could use a change of pace. So I'm going to save this, and we'll add this together with the gold that still is en route. And let's get set up and start making some buttons. Here we are, all set up to make some buttons. I have a fresh melt dish here. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply some glaze to it. I'm going to get it hot and sprinkle some borax on there. And every once in a while I'll sprinkle a little bit more borax. It kind of gives it a nice greasy coating so the gold doesn't stick to the ceramic itself. But yeah, time to get cracking. Let's get our fan on. Get this dish heated up. Alright, you see that I put a few sprinkles of the borax on there. I didn't go crazy. It's like 2.5 sprinkles. It's really not much. 2.5 pinches, you know. Really not a lot. I don't want to have too much because then it's just that much more that's going to stick to our buttons as we go. But yeah, we got a ways to go. So it is time to get cracking. I gotta let it cool down a little bit. It actually shrinks and forms pits on top that I need to get rid of before I take it out. One in a separate dish. All right. On to the next one. finally. All right. Our first 300 buttons are ready for the next step. Hey, they look good. That's about 75 ounces of pure gold right here. Yes, sir. Not too shabby. Man, does that feel great. Oh my gosh. They look pretty spectacular too, but they're not done yet. And right now, these aren't exactly pure gold, because the surface has a bit of glaze on them, especially the bottoms. Every time you pluck it out of the melt dish, you're carrying some of that shiny glaze away with it. So these are going to be on to the next step here. What we have to do next is boil these in hot sulfuric acid, diluted hot sulfuric acid. Some really nasty stuff. That's pretty much the worst stuff I have in the lab. So use caution if you ever come across it. It is not kind to organic matter. And it also takes off this borax glaze. So that's going to be our next step. I'm going to set up the fume booth. We're going to get these in maybe a Corningware dish and boil these up. Get these really clean and absolutely pure. Oh man. Whew. I gotta put it down. My hands are starting to shake. That's heavy. Oh. Man, that is heavy. Love it. All right, I'm gonna get set up and we'll get on to the next step. All right, now I'm gonna cover and turn up the heat. All right, our buttons are all washed and dried and ready for the next step, which will be over at the press. And for that, you need a die, which, let me tell you, is easier said than done. I've spent the better part of the year, better part of 8 months, hunting down a die for this project. First one I got was very similar to this. I sent it back, made a few requests for changes, and basically got the same thing. Off-centered and just, I mean, this is not what I'd call a die. I don't know. The detail work is pretty good. The finish work is awful. Well, each one of these companies, they did their best. I'm sure they have their own little niches for whatever they primarily sell to, but this was not what I was looking for at all. So I contacted another company. Again, basically got the same thing. It's too deep. You press the gold on top of it, and it just digs into these huge voids, and you got to hammer it back out. And this detail's a little sloppier, but you know, it's got a dented ring at the bottom, and you can right out of the box, it's got this scratch going across over here. And again, this isn't the die. So I contacted another company, went into great detail via email and a half-hour phone call. Told them exactly what I didn't want and why, because I didn't want some short, stubby little long thing in the press so it could get all this pressure and go flying out sideways. And well, long story short, they sent me exactly what I didn't want. The detail on this part is fine for like a hand stamp of sort. This would make a fine hand stamp if it was twice as long. I don't know, I could have thrown this one out the window when I got it. So I contacted another place, and this was getting closer to what I was searching for. I want something that the gold can spill over the side, and I'll show you why in a minute. But and here we're getting closer. It's not awful. At first I was like, yeah, I think we got this, but after I made a few prototypes, it just the detail isn't there. There's all these weird marks where they shouldn't be and stuff, and so I went hunting for another one. Found another company, and I got this die sent in. And this is our official die. I sent it back. We had a couple changes made. They sent it back all nice and shiny for me here. The only problem I got with this die now is that I worry that somewhere during the process of making these 700 pieces that I'm going to wreck this or damage it. So what I did was I ordered a second die, another one, identical to this. So we'll have 2 official dies shortly, probably within 2 or 3 days here on my timeline. And yeah, if I waited to wreck it, we need to get these done by the end of the year, and it's already late November. So if I waited until I wrecked it to order a new one, it might not come in time to save the day. So yeah, these will all be scrapped or maybe bundled up and saved for some future reference. They're unusable. But our 2 official dies will be very similar to this one right here. Now I did make a few prototypes using this die to make sure this is what we were shooting for, or what the look that we wanted. And this is what we came up with. This is our overall look that we're going for here. Nice mirror finish over the bug itself, and you see the gold spills over the edge of the artwork a little bit on this flat surface, and it gives it that unique, each piece is going to look a little different kind of look. It's similar to our first series, our 110 series, but unique into its own as well. So I'm really hoping everybody's going to love it. Everybody who ordered has seen the prototype. So I think everybody has a rough idea of what we're going to have. They're all going to be a little different, but this is going to be the overall look that we're shooting for right here. And this is the prototype. This is not part of the collection, so when this is all over, we're going to melt this back down into a button. And I hate to lose it. It's a pretty little piece, but it's not officially part of the collection. So, all right. Yeah, we got our big dish of buttons ready to go. There's 299 buttons in there. The first button I set aside in this little dish, and I washed it, kept it separate, and this is going to be our number 1. It's been a couple weeks since I made those prototypes, but I think I did enough where it's ingrained in me that I'm going to be able to get this first one done. It worries me a little bit. Hopefully I don't mess up number 1, but if I do, I'm just going to melt it right back down into a button and just recreate it, and we'll keep going until I get this number 1 right. But in order to get going, we need to move over. So let's go get set up at the press, and let's knock this out. All right, this is the one I really don't want to mess up. Gave you a bump there. Sorry about the ride. Everything's perfect. The round comes off onto the paper. I need to take a closer look, but I think we have a winner. Here we have number one. Alright, I'm going to set this aside. Let's get cracking on the rest of these beauties. Alright, I had to make some room on my matting for the rest of the rounds that are going to be pressed. So I annealed all of the current ones. After going through the press, they're squished down pretty good. The gold gets pretty dense, and as soft as the metal is after it's pressed like that, it needs to be annealed to be processed further. I'm going to hand stamp the back of all these with a lithic stamp, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without annealing them. So I annealed them all, cleaned them all up, and here they are. I'm going to set these aside now and keep pressing the remaining buttons here, and we'll try to get them all to this point as well. Once that's done, we'll be able to start hand stamping the back of these rounds. That'll feel good to do. It'll be good to get to that process, but we still got a long ways to go. So I'm going to keep on moving. Not a lot of chit chat, just keep plugging away. Let's set these aside, and we'll start pounding out the all set up to hand stamp the back of the rounds. Let's tackle number one. Get that out of the way. I'm going to use, if I would just put the round onto, say, a piece of steel or slab of plastic or whatever I would use to hammer into this, it would distort the image on the bottom side. The gold's so soft that doing this would just destroy it, which is why we didn't stamp the lithic mark on the 110 series, because we used a hand stamp for the opposite side. Here with a die, now I can use this die to hold the piece in place. It is secure, and it should give me a great platform to stamp the back side. Looks good. Yeah, I thought that might happen, so I have this little hammer here to give it a little tap if necessary. All right, looks good. Looks good. I'm gonna set that aside. Put it in its own vessel here. Alright, let's start getting these little beauties into their capsules here. We're going to start obviously with number one. It's actually upside down. There we go. There's a little burr on these things. I always like to put those in the back. Alright. Let's get it sealed up. First 100. All right, I want to clear these out of the way and move them to the bench behind me. So these 100 pieces are going to move on to the next step. Which means that they are going to be put into a box. These boxes, they don't fit quite right. So they have to be modified just a bit here. Alright. Before they go in there, the boxes have to be numbered as well. And they're going to get a sticker. destroy in the process. So I ended up with another 78. So that leaves me with 22. We started off with 300. I'm at 278. So that leaves me with 22 that I messed up or that just didn't come out right. I wish the number was a little less. In my mind, before I started, I thought, well, 10% loss rate wouldn't be too bad. But when you think about it, out of 700 pieces, that's 70 pieces I'd have to redo. So on the going forward, I'm going to definitely try to limit the amount of pieces that I destroy, or that don't meet the grade. Do my best to get them all just right. But that's where I stand right now. So I just swapped everything out. I'm about to put the stickers on the bottom of each capsule and get them boxed up. So here we are. We got 278 thus far. I received another 20 ounces of gold yesterday, and I have another parcel coming in tomorrow. So I'm finishing this up just in time. I'll get that next gold in motion tomorrow. I'll start weighing up the individual batches. We don't have any time to lose here, so got to keep moving. And before my shipment of gold today. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to get cracking on these right away. So what I do is I design the artwork, send the file off to the printer. They come back like this in these larger sheets, and then it's up to me to cut them down to the individual units. Usually I'm set up at a different location, but that bench right now is full of a couple hundred GoldBug rounds. So I'm going to use this area right here. All right. I don't think there's a lot to talk about here other than I really like the COAs. In the 2020 series, I heard a few folks say that they enjoyed the COA, and I thought, oh, well, this time, let's make sure that we make it even better. This one is unique because it's the first COA that I've created with a black background. And, yeah, changed it up a little bit. And I'm pretty happy with it. I think once the stickers come in, I think they're going to look pretty darn sharp. All right. So, that's that. Let's get working. Since it's not a machine cutting these, other than this device here, just like the rounds, each one is different in its own right. Just a touch. And date all these COAs. All right, I think this is a great point to end part one. We'll split this up into at least two parts here. There's a lot of content. You know, you're packing a couple months worth of work into an hour or two. So, yeah, we'll pull the pin here and stay tuned for part two. You know, if you followed along this far, I'm sure you're not going to want to miss the content that's coming up. And we're going to wrap this project up. I know I still have quite a few weeks ahead, but we'll get this done. I'm excited. I've been having a lot of fun, a lot of hard work, and there's rewards around every corner with it. So stay tuned, and we'll knock this project out together. All right, thanks for joining me. I'm Jeff. This is Lithic Metals. I'll see you next time.